in some way, right?
That is totally fine. Glenn was doing the same thing. Fucked the end up.
Well...
That's what you're gonna get.
People, the one thing that you notice when you look at Sarah Longfield, hello Sarah,
Hello.
playing is like, what the fuck? And also when you get really close, you notice she smells good. So, good stuff on several levels. You work like this and like this.
Oh, well.
And like this. Well.
Sometimes.
Well, yeah, okay.
Like
Hey, so what are you doing here?
I don't know. I just woke up.
Hey, remember when we said
Where the fuck
use your volume part? You know, because remember when we said that?
I'm doing
Yeah, remember when I yelled at everyone? Yeah, I'm just saying. I'm just saying. But I'm such an ass. Hey, people. Okay, now I got it. I'm like, first of all, what is it? Someone. Okay, you don't get this. It was Skid Row. Sebastian Bach, you know Skid Row? 18 in Life, a song from the 80s.
No, I
don't.
don't.
I did an album with him and he's an evil motherfucker. And the guys over there thought it's funny. It's fucking funny! Michiel or whoever did that, I'm gonna kill you. But it's fucking funny. So, when I watch your videos, I'm like, the girl's brilliant.
I don't know about that.
What you do, I mean, I do some tappy stuff. Tapioca? No. I'm trying to make this funny, but I can't. No. But you just do all of this without compression. See, for me, I prepared. I put on the aux and I actually just, use the software and I put an 1176 on the chain. So for me, it's like... But it's easy because it just jumps out. You just did that without any compression.
Yes.
So you have finger strength.
I do. I have finger strength. And I actually, I advocate for that when people talk about tapping and they ask me about it. They're like, how many compressors do you have on your chain? And I'm like, none. I do use active pickups, so there's a little bit of, kind of built-in compression with that, no matter what. But I like the consistency and it sustains the notes longer. But with the tapping, I find if you hit hard enough, you can keep those dynamics so you don't have to switch between a compressed tone and then a normal clean tone whenever you go from tapping to something else. It's I'd rather have that dynamic range because I think it, like I said, it sounds better. You can hit something really hard and if you're still tapping, you can have like soft taps and then hard taps, so it's more musical in my opinion.
So the video we set out to do was, I always make fun of 8-string players because nobody needs that shit, okay? But that's primarily... Okay, let me explain why I think 8-strings are stupid as fuck. Because a lot of people use it for the low farting, okay? When you have, on the Strandbergs, it's a little bit different because you have multi-scale, like Lilu Dallas multi-scale. It's weird with the cameras. Hey, Simon, by the way, behind that camera.
Yeah.
Okay. And who else do we have? Michiel and Victor in the other room. We need to make sure that you guys, get your credit. So with the multi-scale, it's a little bit different because you have more string pull on the low strings. When you have 8 strings with equal string pull or same scale, playing something on the 7th string still has some kind of attack. You play the same notes on the 8th string, it's just flabby, it's not articulated. And then you add all the gain, let the freaking bass player do this. But there are ways to justify this and to make it work. Teach me your ways, oh Sarah Longfield, my queen.
I think it is limited in some ways because you're not going to get the same sound on a guitar on an 8-string that you're going to get on a bass. That's just not going to be a thing.
Nope.
And you need to just accept that, right off the bat with what you're doing, but you also can use that to, your advantage. When I'm playing 8-string stuff, I'm not trying to, take over bass players stuff. I'm trying to like do a whole separate thing because the sound that you're gonna get is so different. You can use that like in an artistic way. And for me, that's tapping for sort of the same reason because, like, well, first off, I do a ton of clean stuff now, so it's not so much of a thing for me. So it's like, when I'm choosing to use my lower strings, it's just usually to complement something I'm doing up here, and because I like the way it sounds, which is why I tap so much, because I like the sound of like a tapped lower 8th string.
But exactly that point, what you just made, you said you don't try to be a bass player, you try to do something different that complements it.
Yes.
I always have a problem with low interval limits. Do you know what those are, and do you pay attention to them?
I don't know what that is.
Okay, because interestingly, amazingly, Sarah said she doesn't know any harmony or any stuff. What she does intuitively, which is just wrong that she's so good at what she does without knowing the fuck what she does. How can you do that? You just, we'll talk about that in a sec. So, okay, low interval limits. When you study arranging, which I did, you're taught that the lower you go, the less different intervals you can do. So when you have an octave, you can do that as low as you want. It doesn't matter. Fifth, as low as you want. A fourth, at a certain point, the harmonics of those notes interfere, and at a certain point, it sounds dissonant. So a major third, totally fine. That's not nice anymore.
Yeah.
This is not like, in here.
Yeah.
So a major third works up to a certain point, which is probably like a G, and then no more. Which means when you're writing for orchestra or big band or whatever, between the bass and the next interval, you have to know, I can do a third here, but here, no more. And you have to learn all of those by heart. Like a minor third, okay, but there's a certain level where it doesn't work anymore. Now, between you and the bass, when you play on that low string, there'll be a certain interval. Mm-hmm. If that is an interval that's already too low to be played, you have garbage. And that is something that me as an arranger, when I would write, if I wrote for, that is correct English, an 8 string, I would have to consider that. Because in my mix, I will have dissonance.
Right.
But you don't consider that. You might do it fully correctly, intuitively.
I don't know. I don't consider anything when I'm making music like at all.
I do.
I just like wake up and I'm like, oh, that sounds cool. Put it in.
So break down like one of those tapping sections for me. What you do there?
I don't even know if I can break it down. I like can't even slow it down. I don't even. Yeah, it's obviously not even a conscious
do the first thing you did. I want to see what you do there. Wait.
I don't even know if you. Oh yeah, you have it.
Wait. What strings are you on? Okay,
you're right.
And then.
Yep.
And then you lift that finger.
I lift both of them.
Let's find out what Sarah's doing. That's obviously an E power chord, and she's doing a C. Wait. Major 7. That's a third. So she's just doing C major 7. That's another E and a B. So C major 7 without the G. So C major 7. So
I don't know.
well, look at this. If you learn the shapes, this is a major third.
Everywhere?
This everywhere, except
up
between
here?
the B and E string, the G and B string, because.
Oh yeah, right, because it's like one note.
So
down.
this always a major third, okay?
Oh.
Let's go. Let's go into this. I did a series called Power Chord Theory.
Mm-hmm.
Let me teach you.
Okay. Yeah, this is like
Seriously easy.
okay.
Power chord.
Yes.
You know that
I
shit.
do know.
158.
158.
Root 5th octave.
Oh yeah.
158.
Yeah.
That's easy to remember,
Yeah.
right? So if you know where the 1, the 5, and the 8 is, and the 8 is the same as 1,
Right.
right?
Yes.
if you know what the 8 is, you can find the 9.
Right.
That would be minor 9th, so do one more. So that's a 9. If you know where the 8 is, you can find the 7. One lower is the major 7.
So, but why is this one 2 frets up?
Because there's 2 9s or 2 2s.
What?
So a second, a 2, there's a flat 2 and a 2. And there's a flat 3 and a 3. Minor third and third.
Okay.
There are certainly, so there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. We don't have to count the 8 because that's the root again.
Yeah.
2, 3, 6, and 7 always exist twice. As a flat and a natural.
7? Okay.
2, 3, 6, and 7. So you have a flat 2, 2, flat 3, 3, flat 6, 6, flat 7, 7.
Okay.
And 4 and 5 are only natural. There's no other thing. And the thing in between is Bart Simpson. Now she's like, what the fuck? The thing in between this. The Simpsons. So that thing in between is Bart.
Okay.
Or also called a tritone, but Bart Simpson's so much cooler. So we got 1, 5, 8. If you know what 8 is, you can. If you go one step down, you have the major 7, not the flat, and one lower is the flat 7.
Okay.
So you have a flat 7. Same thing with a third. So you're here, and you have flat 2, 2, flat 3, 3. Flat 2, 2, flat 3, it's minor 3. After 3 comes
4.
Bart Simpson,
Yes.
and then comes 5. And again, we have 1, 5, 8.
Okay.
So if you know where the 8 is, you can find the 9 or the flat 9. You can find the major 7 or the 7.
Okay.
So that's easy. If you know where the 5 is, you can find the flat 6, 6. If this is something you always see, you just count. As long as you know 2, 3, 6, 7 exist twice, it's all good. So what you're doing is this is the root, in this case a C, and that shape is a major. That's a major 3. If you go one down, you have a minor chord.
Okay.
So if you look this 1, 5, 8, and you're playing this note right there, right?
Yeah.
Imagine the power chord 1, 5, 8.
Yes.
So major 7.
Oh. Okay.
So what you're doing there, it's literally just looking at a shape and altering it. So this is your major 7, minor third, root. And what you're doing here, well, that's an E, that's an E, that's an E. Well, pretty much the same damn
Yeah,
thing.
I do a lot of that.
And that's a B, that's a B. These two are really just repeated.
Yes.
That's the root, major third, major 7. So you're doing a major 7 arpeggio.
Sweet.
After that, what do you do? What the crap? This is candy for me. How do you come up with it?
I don't know. I have no idea.
But what do you do down there?
And then it goes. Hold on, I have to remember it. So just a thing I do. Yeah, it's like. Yeah, that's the thing I do after that. Which is also nice.
You do a lot of 5th and 4th, which is
It's easy.
easy to tap, but it also harmonically doesn't really get in the way a lot.
Do they not?
No, I mean it's
Oh yeah. Yeah, I do lots of that. Yep.
this by itself is a B sus 4,
Yeah.
but then down here you do something weird. Yeah.
Yeah.
B sus 4. I love when I look at something and it's like, what the crap? How is she doing this? It's freaking magic. And then you unravel it and you're like, no, I can get it. Mm-hmm. I'd have to practice the shit out of it, and I probably don't want to. So she's still the queen of doing what she does. But I'm like, now I get it. So now I watch a video of using it, like, okay. I see some patterns that
Yes.
that before at those speeds I couldn't possibly
yeah,
see.
they're hard to. It is like everything I do is pattern oriented, and it's all like things that feel fun for me to play and are familiar. So I always go back to these like few things. So anytime like if you learn one of my things, you can play any of my things.
How do you approach like a solo over a track? Because
Yeah,
you don't. You're saying you don't know harmony.
No.
So that means there's a certain key, there's a certain chord. Are you doing this all by ear?
Yeah, I wish I knew. I've tried. I hired 4 people to teach me theory, and it's just like I don't know if I have like if I'm like dyslexic with it or what, but it just does not stick. So yeah, no, I'm still doing everything
No,
by ear.
I will guarantee you, 2 billion% I can teach you.
I don't think you can.
Do you get 158?
I you know, kinda. Like, if you asked me a question and I had to answer it, I'd probably answer it wrong. Like that's the.
I will
extent of,
guarantee you, I can teach you
That's what the-
theory. Because the thing with theory is, you have to not have to remember things.
Yeah, and
If you have to remember things, it sucks.
Yeah, and I can't. I can't even remember the things.
Yeah.
I can't even get to step 1.
Yeah, no, but
Like-
but I don't want you to remember. You need to understand patterns. Like
Yeah.
you're not supposed to memorize what note this is. You're just supposed to do this. Like if I know this note, I know that note.
And just know.
If I know that note, I know that note.
I think I'm too far gone.
No.
I think I've been doing it for too long. Like I don't know if I can rewire
you
my
can
brain.
you can totally learn it. With what you know already, and with your technical abilities. I don't think I want you to know theory because you'd be unstoppable.
Well, that's why I want to learn it. Like I hate that. Like if there's like a jam or something, I can't just go up and jam. Like I can play like notes that sound right because I kind of know like what might kind of work like subconsciously, but I'm so unsure about it that I can't actually do it.
Well, if you want to, no pressure. But if you want to learn some of that stuff, Skype me anytime, no charge.
Yeah, that would be awesome. I'll
Anytime.
definitely take you up on that.
We'll start with simple 158 and move it from there. It is always explained way too complicatedly. It's
Yes.
an adverb something. But I did a series on the power chord theory and taking it from here, from this thing, okay, to understanding and this and why that's a C major 7 sharp 11. If you know the power chord, going to this or seeing a major 7 in this is totally possible. It is only just like moving one thing around, next thing around. We could totally do that if you don't feel comfortable at a jam playing on top of something. Piece of cake. You have everything that it takes to easily translate your technique into knowing more what you do. I always thought, and when someone told me at some point in time, when if you practice blah blah blah, and you you're soloing, you know what that note is in relation to the chord that's playing right now. I'm like, no, that's not possible. That's absolutely impossible.
Yeah.
I know that right now when I have a chord progression, that note I can tell you while I'm playing. That's the root. That's the 9. That's cool. That's the flat 7. Cool. But if I now stay on it on the next chord, which I know what it is, it's going to be a sharp 11. I don't want that, so I have to change. And it is not an intellectual thing anymore. I'm just looking at it and I know what it is.
Yeah.
It's ridiculous, but it wasn't consciously me trying to learn.
Yeah.
By doing it just regularly, and it does help. It's ridiculous how much it can guide your playing.
Right.
So, but
I want to, because it's like I feel like that's like a whole nother set of colors and tools that like I just don't have. You know what I mean? So it's like I feel like.
But that's my point. As amazing as you are, imagine you had those.
Yeah, no, I totally don't, and I'm really mad that I don't, which is why I've tried to learn it over and over and over again, and it just doesn't. I just can't seem to do it. So it's like I'm missing out on all these things that like all my peers have, and they're like, if they're stuck, they're like, oh well, I can just do this, and that will work with this note. Whereas if I'm stuck, I'm like, oh, I don't know.
But you are pattern-oriented thinking.
Yeah.
That's all that it is. I can teach you the patterns with some meaning.
Yeah, maybe.
But we
can
weren't
try.
talking about 8-string. We're just having fun. Hey, you're still here. Whoa, who would have thought? How do you use the 8th string? Forget about the low interval limits. What do you do with it?
Like I said, I usually stick to tapping with it because I don't I don't like what it sounds like picked, and I feel like because it's an 8th string, sometimes if you're pressing down too hard, like you bend the note and it gets out of tune or it sounds out of tune because I don't know why. I don't know if that's the frets or the string or what, but it's just, it seems, I don't know, I just don't like the sound of it when it's being picked, and I don't really like the sound of it distorted unless I'm using it to like climb into something else. So I really just stick to tapping with it because I love the punchy bass attack. And it gives
I'm sure that is totally awesome. I watched a video where you did some song from some band from some Swedish something with insane rhythms in kick and low something on one note.
Sugar.
Yeah, I don't know that band.
Sugar.
I don't know. Is it like a Swedish deathcore grind? Some band?
What?
I have no idea.
I believe it was Hanson.
Was it Hanson? Hanson. That's wrong. Hanson, come on. The Great Divide, awesome band. Religious as fuck, but awesome people. Just don't listen to the lyrics. Or like, don't have sex or something, I don't know. Which do have sex. So, let's do this. We'll stop here, and we'll send all you nice people who are already subscribed to Sarah, because she has so many more subscribers than I have, to her channel for a second part of this video, which is going to be, I don't know, something similar to this. We should talk about Strandberg guitars, because these are Strandberg guitars.
Yeah, we totally should. And are we going to talk about that in your video or my video? Because I was gonna do like an interview. Okay, cool. Yeah, we'll just do that with the interview thing.
Yeah, whatever interview. So animals at the end. I guess maybe I don't know when I edit this video. I don't have animals with me, but animals at the end. This has been, and will be Sarah Longfield. At this thing. And this is fun. So get out of here. Links below to I don't know guitars and theory. No. I don't know.
I wish.
Chicken pigs, hey. I played Eleni, you played Rev, and that's it. See you on Sarah's channel, which will look exactly like this,
Yes.
just in the future from now on.
Yeah.
Hit stop people. Stop with the cheesy transitions, people!
I can't keep. I'm missing the thumbs up opportunity. I know.